to our channel. Well, it's not our today. As you can see, I don't have my partner in crime with me, Nyla, with me in this particular video, but don't worry, she'll be back. As you can see by the title of this video, though, this is going to be a story time by the time I was rushed to the hospital. So without further ado, let's get to the video. So let's see, where should I start? August 6th, 2 years ago, 2018, I woke up with like some lower back pain that was like weird to me because I don't usually wake up and I'm like achy or something like that. So I get up and my mom happened to be home that day, and I let her know that I was experiencing like some uncomfortable like pain in my lower back on my right side. So she tried to massage and get rid of it, I guess. But like as the day progressed, it just got worse and worse. It was awful. And like I have a high pain tolerance too. Like everybody in my family knows that. Like if I complain that something's hurting or that I'm in pain, then it's bothering me then. And just to be aware, I'm probably gonna say pain in this video like 100 times because I don't know like a synonym for it like off the top of my head. So yeah. Anywho, so my mom tries to relieve me of this pain, and like nothing is working. Like nothing, absolutely nothing is working. I tried to sleep it off, didn't work. My mom tried to, just like massage the area, didn't work. Heating pad, didn't work. So fast forward throughout the day, and it's like I'm sleeping now. So now it's like early Tuesday morning, and I'm a night owl anyway. But what was happening like in my lower back was like it was keeping me up, and I wanted to go to sleep. So like I just knew something was off, like on the inside. Like I just knew something was wrong. Like I knew something was off with my body. So me and Nyla's room is like right across from each other. So I text her, and I was like, it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. So I text her, I was like, I don't know, like something is wrong. Like something is wrong, and I think I'm gonna need to go to the hospital. So she didn't even text me back. She immediately like came in my room, and she didn't come in my room immediately because she was dead asleep. So I had called her to like get her attention. I couldn't walk to her room because I couldn't really move. That's how bad the pain was hurting. How bad the right side of my body was hurting. So I text her, she comes in my room, and she's like, what's going on? Like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. And she knows I was experiencing like some discomfort as well. So she was already like aware of that, but she didn't know like to what extent. So when I don't know something, it's like when I can't understand what's happening, like especially when it comes to like my body, I freak out. So like if I get chills or like anything like that all comes with my anxiety. So when that kicks in, my heart rate is beating really fast, so that means my breathing is elevated, and I can start to get dizzy because I'm not breathing properly. So that all of that was happening. So then I called my mom, and I let her know that I think I'm gonna have to go to the hospital. Mind you, I hate hospitals. I do not like hospitals. I don't like the feeling of hospitals. I don't like being in hospitals. I've just never liked hospitals. I hate them. I cannot stand them. But I know I had to go to one. So my mom comes upstairs, comes in my room, tries to calm me down. And I don't know what it is about moms, but it's like, well, I guess it's a mom thing. Like they just have like that ability to just calm their kids down, like really no matter what age they are. Cause like all she had to do was just like, just hold me like close to her and like try to slow down my breathing to calm me down and like get me in the right sense of thinking. Cause I was all over the place. But that didn't last real long because the pain was still there. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna go get your dad. So again, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Everybody is asleep. So now she has to go wake up my dad, who has to go to work in the morning, like in a few hours. So she goes to get him. I have to now get dressed. So Nyla was helping me get dressed. To even sit up, just sit up was like a real pain. Like I really cannot explain to you in detail like how I felt. I think like, but the closest I think I can get to was like, so you have cartilage in between your bones. So imagine that cartilage is gone and you just have two bones just grinding against each other. Are you getting the imagery here? So that's like the closest I can get to like getting something in your head. That's how it felt. It felt like two bones just grinding up against each other. So like my hip area, my pelvis, and like somewhat like my lower back. So I get dressed, and to even put pants on and put shoes on, I could barely do alone. Like I needed assistance. So we walk out of my room. My dad has to literally help me to my chair and get me to our game room door, I guess. Not game room door, like the chair in the game room. So I'm in there and I'm like leaning on the chair for support, and my mom is in my room calling the ambulance, and you know, I can, like, my anxiety is like on 100. Like I am just going, like, thinking 100 miles per hour while trying to figure out at the same time, okay, why am I in this much pain? Because I've never felt this before. So the EMTs get there, they come up the stairs, they find me, and like, what's wrong, honey? Like all this stuff. It was two men, and they're like, okay, we're gonna try to get you downstairs. Are you able to walk downstairs? No, I cannot walk at the moment. So I had to lean on one guy. It was like a bigger set type of guy. I leaned on him for support, and then I had my arm around my dad, like, for support as well, for this side of my body, the right side of my body. So we're going down the stairs, literally like swivel one, like my left foot on one step, and then try to slowly turn, like pivot. Oh my God, friends.
Pivot! 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 Pivot!
Like pivot the right side of my body to kind of like turn to get on like on the next step. So we finally get down the stairs, and now I have to get on the gurney. So to get on the gurney, you kind of like have to sit and then put your legs on. I couldn't really do that without shrieking. But I was able to do that again with assistance. And like, it's like the pain, you guys, like, so after I'm now like on the gurney, after moving so much, a part of my body that really does not want to move, like it hurts to move it. So now I'm on the gurney, I'm laying on my back. So now it's getting close to 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm getting wheeled out on the gurney, and all I see when I go outside the house, I look up and all I see is like a starry sky. And if you don't know me, like, I love stars. I love everything that has to do like with nighttime, the moon, the stars, like the sky, everything like that. So that was like probably the only calmest part of my experience, was just remembering like looking up at the stars and like seeing how many there were. So now I'm getting wheeled out the house. Now I'm going down the driveway and into the back of the ambulance, like the truck. In the truck, I'm gonna have to ride alone because my mom needs to follow me to the hospital. My dad stayed home with the rest of my sisters. So I'm in the ambulance for the very first time by myself. My mom is riding. I could see her car, even though like I'm laying down like in the back of the truck. I could see her car like following. So I'm like, okay, I'm okay. She sees me. I'm gonna be fine. She'll be there with me when I get to the hospital. It is so, I don't know if it was because I had chills, but I was so cold, like shivering cold. Like it was really cold in that truck. And then mind you, on the way to the hospital, it felt like an eternity to get there. I'm like, what is taking so long? Like, why is it taking us so long to get here? And the ride was bumpy. So I'm in an uncomfortable position. I'm laying on a gurney, and it hurts to move like the right side of my body, the lower half. And like, I'm going like up and down like every few seconds. It was agony. But get to the hospital, basically they check me out. They can't find anything wrong with me. When I get there, they put me into this room. It wasn't even like a hospital room. It was like it was a very small room. It didn't even have a bed. They basically had me on the bed that they put me in when I got to the hospital, like a little thing with metal bars. It was not comfortable at all, but they kind of like sat it up like a chair. They put, I don't know what they gave me, but it knocked me out for like a good maybe hour and a half, so that they can, like, I guess run some tests and things like that. And I could still kind of hear my mom though, like on the phone talking to my dad, like updating him on how I'm doing. But I was pretty much knocked out and I couldn't feel anything, so that was good, but it didn't last very long. So basically they can't find what's wrong with me, and they give me medication, and they basically send us on our way because they basically believe that I'm fine. So now it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm already back home. Still hurts to move, but it feels manageable a little bit now. So now this is on a Tuesday, so now it's the 7th and it's the evening. And I don't know why I did this, but I went in our guest room and I laid on the floor. I'm assuming maybe because I couldn't get on the bed, because it would hurt to try to put my leg on the bed. But yeah, I ended up on the floor. That's all I can remember, is that I was on the floor. And I'm on the floor again, and I call my mom. She's still home because she has to watch the rest of my sisters and stuff. So she's home, and I let her know, I'm like, I think we have to go back, because this makes no sense at all why I'm feeling this way. Like, there cannot not be something wrong. Like, you can't tell me that. If they can't figure it out, let's go to another hospital, because this is not making sense. So she calls the hospital. She calls 911 again, and now I'm on my way to the hospital again for the second time within 24 hours. Really less than 24 hours. So they get there, and again, there's parts of this story that are like spotty, like that I can't remember why I was doing what I was doing. So I wasn't wearing pants. I was in my underwear. I'm on the floor. The guy comes in. I'm laying like in a weird position on the floor, and they have to get like this. It's like a stabilizing board, but it's made out of this like hard plastic. It's not comfortable, but they use it to like help get people like on top of it so that they're stabilized and they're not really moving. So they had to get that underneath me, but in order to do that, I had to help out a little bit and try to like turn over onto it. Oh my gosh, that hurt so bad. That hurt so bad. So they finally get me on it, and now I'm like, I have to have my hand like across my chest so that I'm not messing up the balance while they're carrying me out onto the gurney again. So now I'm in the back of the ambulance once again, but now my mom is with me because my sisters were home, so they could just stay with Nyla. So now I'm in the back of the ambulance, and again, it's freezing cold. And one of the EMTs, she lets me know, she's like, honey, you're gonna need to slow down your breathing. I know you're scared, but like, she was looking at my levels, basically my oxygen levels, and my heart rate was, I wasn't getting enough oxygen, and my heart rate was up. So I tried to slow down my breathing, but I couldn't do it on my own. So she basically had to give me like a mild sedative to like calm me down. So she gave me the sedative on the way to the hospital, and now I have to wait to be checked in again. Finally get in the room, and now I'm surrounded by like 3 doctors, and they're trying to figure out what's wrong. So fast forward, and now they're trying to get like an x-ray of my right hip to see, because that's why I basically told them that's where the pain was, because I couldn't really pinpoint exactly where it was because it wasn't in a specific spot. It was like migrating, kind of like all over on that side of my body. So couldn't find anything. Then they tried to do an MRI. An MRI is a very weird experience because I can't move, because you have to be very still so that they can get clear images and things of that nature. So I'm on this, like, I'm laying down on my bed. No, they had to take me off my bed, and there's these 2 huge dudes that had to, like, you know, like when you like grab 2 things and then you hoist it up and like lift it, That's what they had to do with me because I couldn't get on it myself. I wanted to hurt someone so bad, like so very, very bad. That's how much it hurt. So they get me onto it, and they're telling me to be very still, and they're giving me headphones. Mind you, this is like a children's hospital. I was 15 at the time when it happened, and so they gave me headphones, like, do you want to watch a movie? I really did not care. I just wanted to get this over and done with. Sure, you can put on a movie. I watched Finding Dory. So that happened. So I have to be very still. Now, mind you, it hurts to move the right side of my body, but now I'm also experiencing muscle spasms. So at any given moment, the right side of my body could just start jerking for no reason. So it hurts to move, but at the same time, my body would involuntarily jerk. So, and I have to go through this MRI machine where I have to be very still. So I was praying, I was like, please do not have a muscle spasm while I'm inside this thing. It feels like you're in there for an hour, but I want to say it was maybe 20-30 minutes. It wasn't very long. It feels like it's very long. And then it freaked me out because I got in there, and then all of a sudden I hear these alarms going off. I wanted to scream, like, what is going on? Like, it was like alarms, just like beep, 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 like going. It was quiet at first. Like, all you could hear was like the it basically just sounded like the machine was on, but all of a sudden it turned to alarms blaring, and I was like, why? But I just tried to stay calm, and I was good. So they checked that out, and again, nothing is wrong. So me and my mom are, and really like all of my family members, like getting confused, like, okay, why are they not finding something that's wrong? Because this it doesn't make sense. But they had basically just treated it like it was an infection. That's how they basically treated it the rest of my stay. So they couldn't find anything wrong through any tests, blood tests, x-rays, things of that nature. So I'm in the hospital. I don't know why I'm in the hospital. Like the reason, like the exact reason, like what's going on with me. And I'm also very irritable. So imagine trying to sleep, but you can't really sleep. And then I have my mom that's in my room the entire time, sleeping very peacefully. I was so jealous of her. I was like, how are you sleeping so peacefully? Like, I wanted to be her. Like, I just wanted to sleep. But it was very hard to do that because I couldn't sleep on the side of my body that I wanted to sleep on. I had to sleep on my back, which I do not do. I hate sleeping on my back, but that's how I had to sleep. And then you have like staff, like nurses, literally coming in your room every 15 minutes to check your IVs, to check your blood pressure, to check your temperature, basically all your vitals. Every 15 minutes, on the dot, every 15 minutes, like it's clockwork. It's extremely annoying because you really cannot rest when someone is trying to wake you up, like, okay, honey, we need to check your blah, 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 and give you your medication. So I appreciate everyone that helped, but it was still like I could not get like 1 ounce of sleep, not an hour, like maybe an hour. But yeah, so let's move on from that part to like basically like how I was feeling. So during my stay, I was there for 10 days. Yeah, so I was there a little over a week, and I can't really do anything for myself besides brush my teeth, and I think that was about it. So if I had to go to the bathroom, my mom would have to help me, or like some nurse staff would have to help get me onto like this. I couldn't even go to the bathroom, like walk to the actual bathroom. They had to have like a little portable toilet seat that you could just sit on because I couldn't move my body. I was literally bedridden, like I couldn't move. So that's how I would like release bowels, if you want to see that. And then my bladder was extremely full. I mean, extreme. Like, they had to do like a pelvic ultrasound and like look at it, and they're like, honey, when was the last time you went to the bathroom? For some reason, I couldn't go to the bathroom. Like, it was to the point where they almost had to put a catheter inside of me. If you don't know what a catheter is, it's basically like, I'm not sure if it's a needle. I think it is. But it's basically like a little thing. They put it in your urethra. I don't want anything getting stuck in there. Anything. I don't want anything in there. So that kind of scared me. I was like, I don't want that. So let me try to pee. We even tried to get a bedpan. That didn't work because in order to actually pee in the bedpan, I would have to at least sit up at an angle. I couldn't sit up. So that didn't work. So I just had to squeeze really hard, and I basically used the bathroom on my bed like I was a 2-year-old. That it might sound like embarrassing because again, you're like 15 years old, your mom is helping wipe your behind almost every day, and you can't wipe yourself, and then you're also peeing in your bed, and you have to wear like a diaper in order to use the bathroom. It sounds embarrassing, but to me, I wasn't even thinking about any of that stuff. I was just letting whoever could help. It only sounded embarrassing like afterwards, like after it had all like passed and things like that. So like my mental, I want to say like that time in my life was probably like the worst time that I ever experienced physically and mentally. Like I was definitely like depressed. My mom could sense it. Like my mom could definitely sense because she was there with me basically 24/7, basically. So she could sense like the mood that I would be in. Like I wouldn't want to get up. I didn't want to go to physical therapy, things like that. And like imagine like seeing someone that you love and that you care about in pain and you can't do anything about it. You can't fix it. So it was a very emotional time for all of us, like everyone in my family. Cause like I would be somewhat out of it because of the medication I was on, but I could still see like the looks on my parents' faces and like my siblings' face. Like I could hear them, sniffling in the background or crying, even though I wasn't physically turned towards them. I could hear it. So I mean, it was like the emotions that were going through everyone, like how everyone was feeling was like extremely sad. But so now I'm back home. I think I got home on a Friday, and so now I'm like walking a little bit, still not on my own. I still have to use like a walker. So I had like one of those, old people walkers that you have to like with the tennis balls at the bottom. So that's what I had to use for assistance to walk. So I'm getting home, and I have a wheelchair that the hospital gave us that we got to like rent. And I'm getting home, and again, I'm happy to be home for sure. I'm happy to be home, but I couldn't even like go upstairs to my room. I had to I just stayed downstairs for a good month and a half maybe, and just stayed down there. And I just stayed in the guest room because my physical therapist was basically saying if I were to go up the stairs, that would aggravate the injury or whatever I had. But like my mood didn't really change. Again, I was happy to be home and see my sisters, my parents and stuff like that. But I was still, depressed. So I would stay in my room majority of the time. I very rarely come out of my room. Oh, and my gosh, the medicine that I was on, I think it was like amoxicillin or something like that. One of the side effects was that you had insomnia. I had never had insomnia in my life, but that, literally being up for almost 24 hours is terrible. It is absolutely terrible. I'm laying down basically like in an L position because I'm sitting up but my legs are out like this. So because that's the only way I could sleep, because I can't lay on my side because I wouldn't be able to get up. So that's how I'm like laying down, and I'm literally just staring at the ceiling all night. And there's a window so I can see when the sun is coming up, and like it just seemed like time was going by so slow, and I'm extremely tired, but I cannot go to sleep. It wasn't working out, and it's hot in that room. It was terrible. It was a very terrible experience. But yeah, like I was saying, like that time for me just mentally was just very draining and emotional. Like I didn't want to do anything because you feel useless. You really feel useless. Like you can't do what your body is meant to do. Like you're literally just a couch potato, pretty much. So to not be able to do the regular things that I was used to doing was really weird for me. So it kind of put me into a headspace. But that's pretty much how my 2018 sucked. It was really suckish because I was in the hospital and I couldn't have my 16th birthday that I had planned for months. I mean months. It wasn't able to work out. But I am so grateful for my friends and of course my family that like helped pull me through that very tough time. I love every single one of you. You guys know who you are. But yeah, that is the story time of the time I was rushed to the hospital and basically my experience with that, what went on, and still to this day, we still don't know.
To this day.
What happened and how I got like what I got. And 2 years later, almost 2 years later, I still have like effects from that time, like with my body physically. So like if I work out, I have to make sure to stretch or I will be in a heck of pain when I wake up in the morning. It will be, I feel like an 80-year-old. Like I really do. Like when I get up, my body should not feel the way it feels at only 17, almost 18 years old. It's ridiculous, but it's how it is for right now. But yeah, I still experience things like from, like my hips has not been the same since like that hospital thing. Like I literally pop and crack. Like my sisters make fun of me for it because like anytime I get up off the couch or if I'm on the floor sitting down, I get up, it's like pop, 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 pop. I sound like Rice Krispies. That's how my body sounds. But anyway, thanks guys for watching this video. I hope it didn't bore you. Make sure you give this video a like. Make sure you comment, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you guys will be notified whenever me and I'll upload. Thanks again for watching and bye.